What? Say it ain't so. 2 times in one day. Yes, you guys. I'm getting ahead of my schedule because I have time and the energy. That's important too. When I come on here, I have to have the time and the energy. That's very important. But yes, 70 manipulation tactics within dark psychology. So, yes, these are things that narcissists will do, are just basically anyone that's trying to manipulate. Chances are they're doing one of these things. All right. So let's go on down the list. Switching bait. Switching bait. Yeah. I'm going to tell you I'm going to do this, reel you in, and end up doing that. It's like a psych effect, which is really messed up, right? Someone's basically lying at that point. Number 2, triangulation, of course. And that's a triangle has 3 corners. So there's, 3 people involved in that. That's them bringing a third party into the situation for some shape, form, or fashion to trigger the situation in some type of way. Number 3, rushing, of course. And this is what we also call love bombing or moving fast, because you may have less time to think, or it may make you more reactionary versus just responding. Number 4, ganging up. Yeah, because they feel like numbers don't lie, but they can. You can have a whole bunch of people that's just strong and wrong. But if they feel like if they can get a bunch of people to agree with them, perhaps you'll think they're telling the truth and whatever you're thinking is wrong. Number 5, of course, being two-faced or just backstabbing. Smile in your face, talk behind your back, be one way in front of you and another way behind you. Number 6, the smear campaign. And we all should pretty much know what that is. That someone's running around spreading rumors and gossip about you so that in hopes that people will see them the way that they want them to see you and not how you actually are. And it's just based off of persuading people to, believe whatever their agenda is versus the actual truth and reality. Usually is withholding vital information, not telling any truths or half truths or stretching truths. Yeah. Number 7, you guys, the silent treatment, of course. You don't like what I'm doing, or I don't like what you're doing, basically. So I'm going to shut down on you. I'm going to go silent on you. It's going to be noticeable. I'm talking to you less. The pattern just is a shift. Number 8, playing the victim. Yep. So acting like as woe is me. I never had a chance in life. It was just trying to switch roles at that point. Number 9, you guys, projection. Whatever they're doing, I'm going to say you're doing it. I'm going to project that onto you. It's a way for them to avoid accountability and to shift the blame, right? Number 10, just straight up lying. If I tell you the truth, you won't comply. You won't deal with me, right? So just lying, period. Number 11, you guys, flattery. And be careful with that, right? Giving a lot of compliments. Stroking someone's ego. Number 12, gaslighting. Denying the absolute obvious truth. We saw something, we touched it, it's on video, we have hard evidence, I'm still going to deny it. Number 13, guilt tripping or using guilt. This can work in all types of ways, but if someone can make you feel guilty, then perhaps you'll feel sorry. And then that could lead to some type of manipulation advantage in their mind, right? Number 14, passive aggressiveness. This could look like saying something they really want and then downplaying that they really want it. Making something important and then saying a polar opposite statement, minimizing it or just not making it important. Just being passive aggressive instead of being direct. Number 15, you guys, changing the subject. You ask them something serious and they just like it never even came out of your mouth. It's just shifting over to something completely different. Like, let's go back. When someone does that to you, by the way, depending on the relationship is how you're going to react to it. If you have a close relationship with them, you don't have to let them, quote unquote, get away with that. Go circle back around. Like, well, let's address my question first before we move into yours. And if they're unwilling, then, you can walk away from the conversation. But yeah, changing the subject. Number 16, of course, is going to be being charming. All right. And that's a part of persuading someone or seducing somebody, basically. Number 17, intimidation. Someone can use aggression or status or any type of power or anything they think they have over you at that point. And then that would lead to exploitation. Does anyone have a teenager? I'm telling you, one of my kids, it's got to be like one of the most expensive kids on the planet. But yeah, we were on exploitation. That's funny. My teenager's exploiting me and my wallet. Number 19, you guys, moving the goalpost. Setting, let's say, you guys made a date to do something in like 3 months from now, 2 months from now. And then when that time comes, they're finding ways to push the goalpost back. So it's kind of keeping a carrot in front of the donkey, if you will. But they're the ones holding the carrot. And who knows if they're ever going to even let you really eat that carrot. So moving the goalpost is just continuing to delay and push things back. 21. Oh, did I write gaslighting on here twice? I might have. Well, we'll say reverse psychology. We'll skip that because I think I wrote gaslighting twice. But that's a big one with gaslighting anyway. Reverse psychology could be, what's a good example of that? I'm trying to think of it in a romantic setting. It's very easy for me to think of it in a parental setting. Like if you're downplaying how you really feel about something, you're giving it the opposite emotion to let someone drop their guard down. I use that technique a lot with my kids because I want them to confide in me. So if I really reveal how uptight and stressed I could be about the topic, they won't like, you're not going to get in trouble. And I don't. It's not a lie. When I tell them that, I stick to it. But yeah, I don't reveal the true intensity, or basically is telling someone the opposite of what you're really feeling at that time. Number 23, you guys, is negging. And that's just like giving backhanded compliments or belittling someone or teasing them. Well, you're pretty smart for someone that didn't finish high school. That's like an example of negging. You're telling me I'm smart. And you have to gauge a person's tone because they could actually be sincere, but you'll know, like when it's in dark psychology, they'll be negging at that point. The next one, you guys, is appealing to your emotions. Yeah, that's what narcissists try to do, at least in the love bomb phase. And they'll actually be doing it in other phases too. But instead of in the love bomb phase, they're appealing to your positive emotions versus when they're discarding you and devaluing you and stuff. They're trying to appeal to your negative emotions and trigger you in that way, right? But either way, they're definitely going to be appealing to your emotions, what they perceive those are. And if you've opened up to them, they might have a good idea at that point. Number 25, you guys, telling you what you want to hear, of course. Telling you what you want to hear. And we have to have our emotional maturity to know when someone's just telling us what they think we want to hear, or when they're actually in alignment with that energy, right? Number 26, I have stonewalling. Yes, stonewalling, you guys. 27, being dismissive. You know, you bring something to someone and they dismiss it. I'm trying to find a better word for it. I don't want to talk about that right now. You know, they're dismissing it, which is also is very close to avoidant. I don't want to talk about it ever would be avoidant, but dismissive is more like I don't want to talk about it right now. And avoidant was 28. So 29 is threats, by making actual threats. And that can be a part of intimidation, of course. 30, you guys, is name calling. I know this is really, some of these things are very remedial and immature, but it's still the case. 31, discarding, of course. And that's when you're rejecting someone. 33, devaluing, putting someone down. 34, future faking. It's kind of like, you know, moving the goalposts. Some of these things are really similar. Only future faking is just straight out telling a lie. You know, moving the goalposts might not be telling a lie, but it's just not giving it to you when you thought you were going to get it. You know, future faking is just an empty promise at that point. 35, of course, could be using sex, making those soul ties, or physical touch is a manipulation. 37 is being fake nice. You know, these are your fake friends, fake friendly. Inside, they really can't stand you. 38, siding with your enemies. That's pretty self-explanatory. You know, it could be behind your back, you know. They could be orchestrating this thing step by step, dropping things little bits at the time, or they might just do it when they're mad at you. 39, using your trauma against you. And that's a part of something else that I said earlier. That could be like, what did I say that would be? Exploitation, appealing to your emotions. Yeah. So using your trauma against you, if they know that you've gone through something severe, and I've experienced that myself with a narcissist. When they got mad, they just threw it in my face. That's why this happened to you. That's why you experienced that. And they were things that I had confided in this person, like horrific things that I had gone through. And I was married to this person, by the way. So that's why, the only reason why I even felt comfortable confiding in them. And when they got mad at me, they threw that right in my face. It was very hurtful, but yep, they did it. Sure did. So number 40, keeping you exhausted or overloaded, or basically tired and busy. When someone's exhausted, who has a clear mind? When someone's sleepy, who has a clear mind? When someone's overloaded, what else can you fill yourself with? And that's a part of being controlling as well. Like if someone wants you all to themselves, if you're so busy taking care of them, quote unquote, you don't really have energy to spread towards anywhere else, right? Number 41, using money. You know, if money is a motivation for you, and some narcissists aren't broke, there are narcissists that have money. So they can use that over your head, but you better be very careful about that, because you know they'll snatch that away the second that they're displeased with you, or they want to go on to another source, or they want to, you know, progress the cycle of abuse to devalue and discard. You know, everything will be in their name, or, you know, they'll make it very controlling, or they'll make you have to be, you know, in inhumane situations and bow down to them to continue to receive that money. Like, they do a lot, the money thing, for sure, especially if they feel like you're in need of it, and they may actually target someone just for that reason. by preference because they want to feel, you know, superior. They want to have that control. So, yep. And 42, I put fake help. And that is a little bit different than fake nice. Now, fake help is someone that's like, I'm going to help you set up for your party, or I'm going to be your best man at your wedding. You know, like this is people that are going to drop the ball in important times in your life, or I'm going to help you. I'm going to lend you the money on Friday, or I'm going to, you know, this is fake help. Someone that's actually trying to sabotage you. That one really sucks, especially if you believe that person. What? It could be a big letdown. So just be careful on your emotional maturity. You know, when you're taking help from anyone, it's always nice to have a plan B and a plan C if you can, right? This next one is a big one, building debt. Yes. When someone's trying to build debt with you, it'll look like, well, I did this for you. Can't you do this for me? So they're building debt in their mind. You're building debt with them when they are giving to you. Okay, they're keeping tabs of that, and then one day they're going to call in the favor. That's kind of, doesn't that sound familiar? Like we've heard this when people talked about like working with the devil, right? He'll do these things for you, and then one day you need to pay with your soul. I'm going to collect on that. It's not like God who is giving you things out of grace, giving you things out of love. Like when you're working with that dark energy, because that's what they are, they're planning to collect in some way. And the funny thing with them, which is the same as, you know, quote unquote, the devil, the dark energy, he always wants something way more powerful or way more expensive than what he provided at that point. So I've noticed that a lot with narcissists. They'll do a little trinket or something. They might do a little something for this, but it doesn't compare to what you've invested in them for sure. It's always going to be lopsided because they would never want to feel like they gave you more than they got back for sure. Number 44, you guys, they could use your inexperience against you. And that's the same thing as like using the money, finding someone inexperienced. And this is sometimes what older people are doing with younger people. When you see people super old with someone super young, they may actually be using their inexperience against them. I'm not going to say there aren't any May December relationships that are healthy and loving. Of course, it can happen. But we're just talking about dark psychology manipulation here. Inexperience can be used against you. And I'm not, this is beyond age. That was just an easy example. The inexperience can be, you're starting a business or you don't know accounting and you hired this accountant. Like it could be all types of ways that someone could take advantage of you if you don't know any better about something, right? Number 45, you guys, playing dumb. Playing dumb. They're good for that. Knowing darn well what they did and just absolutely playing dumb about it. Playing dumb. Number 47, I have staging. Staging would just actually look like orchestrating something for some type of manipulative tactic. Like we've seen it in romantic movies where the guy is really trying to woo this girl and he stages things, or this gold digger is staging her target because she wants to take advantage of this man. She staged it. She knew he was going to be playing a game on this day. She put her seat, like she researched it and she was staging. So, narcissists can stage. They could stage all types of things. Now, those were stagings to try to get someone's attention. They could stage something to hurt you. They could stage something to devastate you, Staging could look a lot of ways, all right? 47, getting your friends and family to side with them, okay? I had to be specific about that because I think before we were talking about the smear campaign, triangulation, and getting people to gang up on you. But this one is like getting your own friends and family to do it. Because Sometimes it does work with people who are a little bit lesser evolved or less emotionally mature. Like if their own friends or family is in their ears, it might actually persuade them to take the narcissist side or that manipulative person side. Deflecting, of course, that's the next one. If someone deflects something, they're just think of it as plucking it away from me. Like I'm deflecting this off of me. I don't want to take accountability of it. They could deflect it anyway, anywhere. I mean, projecting would be putting it on someone else, but deflecting it could be shifting the blame anywhere. Ghosting, of course. That's a little bit more than a silent treatment. Like the ghosting could happen without something going wrong. The silent treatment is usually, something happened, you had an argument, they didn't like something. Now I'm going to change my energy with you. Ghosting, like I found a new supply, I'm just leaving you high and dry. Like out of the blue, I'm just disappearing like a thief in the night. So, yeah, ghosting. Number 50, being suggestive. Now, this happens a lot with children, and it could happen with adults, is when you're basically feeding someone their thoughts. And this could get really dark. Like, let's say somebody was suicidal and, they're saying they want to commit suicide and someone's being suggestive, and you might as well do it, or you're right. What do you have to live? Like you're feeding someone's thought. And it could be the same as far as helping with gaslighting, being suggestive. You didn't see me do that, did you? You didn't really see that. You didn't really hear that. Like someone's being suggestive or, basically feeding someone's thought in a mind control type of way. 51, you guys, being defensive. Yeah, because a lot of empaths, they're not confrontational. We don't like conflict, and that's something that needs to change. You got to get a little bit more comfortable with it. I mean, not in their way, of course, but being able to tolerate it as far as defending yourself. And even if that means defending yourself and removing yourself or just removing yourself. But yeah, they could get defensive about it. And if you're in a codependent energy where you don't want to ruffle any feathers, your no game is weak, or you don't want to upset the situation because you want to keep that relationship intact, they know that you don't want them to have a bad attitude because now that trauma bond is being interfered with, and you're not going to be releasing those feel-good hormones that they're giving you in the love bomb, right? It's going to trigger you into another energy. So, yeah, they can get defensive. And it's also a technique to make you feel like you're taking things too far, or you're being too extreme, or you're exaggerating things, because if they get that reaction, trying to make you feel that way. But just because you feel that way, it doesn't mean it is that way, right? So 52, you guys, is a step up from that, and that's raging. That's a lot more severe. Like, yeah, a person can take being defensive and then start raging. This is the Tasmanian devil. This is somebody that went from 0 to 100. Like, a lot of people don't want to deal with the raging, getting stuff broken, holes in the wall. This is where domestic violence, all types of stuff is happening. And for someone who's still planted in that situation, raging can be very scary. If they're not in their power, or they don't feel like they're empowered to leave yet, you'll want to avoid it. You'll want to avoid it. 53, this is a good one. Creating likeness. Yeah, that's a good one. Like, we're the same, right? And this could happen in a love bomb phase where it feels like this person is mirroring you. You've been through that. I've been through that too. Like, they want you to feel like we're the same. And soon enough, you find out we're not. And even if you did have these certain traumas in common, they took the traumas and went down into the dark side, and you took the traumas and you at least tried to heal from it, or it didn't turn you into a psychopath or a sociopath or this, this this dark psychology type person, basically. But yeah, be careful with that. We are the same thing. Number 54, being a runner. Yeah, that runner chaser dynamic thing, that's definitely going to be a manipulation tactic. And they're usually the runner versus the chaser. But yeah, if they're more into stalking and stuff, then they could become the chaser as well. So, number 55, through isolation, of course. They want the supply to themselves. So the less people that you have to be there for, the more you can be at their beck and call. So they do like to ruin your close connections or come in between them or get you to move far away or just limit, you being able to maintain those relationships, or you're too busy to go tend to those relationships because you're tending to them. But the isolation is real, or you're not able to even make new connections, not even just the ones that you have. They don't want you to have new ones. They don't want you to have outlets and resources. They don't want other people to tell you to leave them or for you to have to confide in when they do devalue and discard. And then that tends to keep the person with them because they feel like they're on an island at that point. That's why you should never really isolate yourself per se in the world. Number 26, they can act like they have amnesia or they forgot, they forgot what they did. They forgot what they said. They don't even know what you're talking about. I did that. It could sound like the plain dumb one, but this is just really emphasizing on the amnesia part, or pretending to have it. Number 57, you guys, I love you. Yes, that phrase is pretty powerful in the human emotions. So they're going to use it. We're soulmates. We're twin flames. Yeah, because that usually triggers warm feelings inside of people. And, if the person believes it, then that person has an upper hand and a certain level of trust, right? Number 58, you guys, religion. Yeah, religion could definitely be used as a manipulation tactic. And this isn't to say anything negative about religions, but there are people who, of course, they abuse religion. They're extreme with religions. And, we've seen examples of that. 59, blame shifting. Blame shifting. And that's really, if you switch the words, is shifting the blame. It's always going to be your fault for some reason. And whatever good point that you bring up about them, they're going to twist it around to you in some shape, form, or fashion. Number 60, breadcrumbing. Yeah, breadcrumbing. That's when someone is not giving you 100%. They're giving you a drop of them. They're capable of so much more, but they're literally breadcrumbing you. And that should be completely unacceptable. Number 61, you guys, shame. Yeah. Shame is a really, really big one on the manipulation scale. They can make you feel bad about something or make you feel shamed for something you did with them, It could be something that you perceive as dark or just even something normal. They could find a funny way of making you feel shame about it. But because they're egotistical and they're always making people bow down to them, there may have been instances where they put you in some type of humbling situation or on a humble side of things that they can shame you for, or just really just shame you for something that they think you already feel insecure about. And that's like a prick, 62, jealousy. If they can arouse that in you, like with a new supply, yeah, make you feel jealous about it. 63, playing on your positive emotions. And that's what's happening in a love bomb phase. Or, making you feel like you're on cloud 9. That's a manipulation as well, not just hurting you. Number 64, fear and lack. So playing on that as well, playing on your fears and playing on whatever you have a lack mentality about, which could be finding another relationship in that instance, finding another friend. Yeah. Or anything, or whatever your fears are, whatever the phobias are that you could have, that could go under fears as well. So number 65, this one's pretty messed up, but playing with your sensitivities. This is where, let's say your mother passed away and someone said your mother would be rolling in her grave, like bringing in something that you're sensitive about and relating it to the situation to get you to come on their side of things. So whatever you could be a little sensitive about or a lot of sensitive about would be even better in their mind, because then it would be more potent. Number 66, taking the squeaky wheel tactic or nagging, and children tend to do that one, and they're not necessarily dark psychology, but sometimes the squeaky wheel does get the oil. They keep nagging you about something. Sometimes look, if they're doing it, it means it worked for them enough times to where they feel comfortable trying it on you too, right? Now, this next one is really manipulative too. Giving to someone else instead of you. Like, and this could also go with the jealousy part, but let's say you wanted something, they just withheld it from you and gave it to the next supply like it was nothing in front of your face. That's manipulation. It's like saying, hey, I was capable of it. I just didn't choose you. I just didn't give it to you on purpose. And then they'll take this next person somewhere you want it to go, for instance, or, just throwing things in your face just to hurt you because they were holding back the whole time, right? Yeah. Number 68, you guys, is creating competition, of course, and comparing, or doing comparisons. That's manipulative, of course. No one should be comparing you to someone else. You're you. The other person is dumb, but they'll do it to try to get more, out of you. This one did that. You should do more. You should bend over backwards like this or that. But yeah. So creating that competition by comparing and making you feel like you're not good enough or you're not doing enough is definitely a tactic. Number 69, you guys, is Stockholm Syndrome. And, that's kind of when someone's doing something bad to you. They're violating your human rights in some way, but they did a sprinkle of something nice in it. Like when this term was originally coined, it came like out of a hostage situation. I don't know if it was a bank robbery. I think it was over in Europe or something. So they had these hostages, but they gave the hostages like food and water and stuff. So, when the news or the people interviewed the hostages, they actually spoke kindly of the people that were holding them hostage because because the people were giving them food and water and actually being nice to them while holding them captive. Yeah, so psychologically, it made them view these people as less toxic or less, but at the end of the day, they were still holding you hostage, So that's what Stockholm Syndrome is. And what I have for number 70, you guys, is minimizing. Minimizing. Exaggerating, of course, could be the opposite end, but minimizing for sure. That's the one I really like because minimizing helps them escape accountability. If they can minimize what they actually did, the night really wasn't that bad. I broke the house, but I didn't burn it down. I took her out, but I didn't sleep with her. It's just trying to just minimize it to make it seem like it's lesser. And then obviously that would make you feel like you're being too extreme. You're exaggerating. You're blowing things out of proportion as usual, right? Yeah. People could be a mess. Like The older I've gotten, you guys, I've become a lot more introvert, and I'm not mad at that. And it's not, I'm not avoiding people, but I'm cool. Like, I'm very cool in my own presence. I really am. Like, I have so many things I could do alone. Okay. But yeah, people can have some stuff with them. But I wanted to hop on here and, share this list with you guys in the ways that people are manipulating others in this world. And I'm sure that everyone's experienced things off of this list, if some of us, all of it. Because narcissists, they're good for doing like jumping in and out of all of this stuff, like breathing. All right. So if anyone wants to add anything to the list, they can feel free to put it down in the comment section. If there's any other topics you guys want me to mention or do a video on, you can let me know. This idea came to me in the last live chat that I did earlier. And I literally came up with the list in about 10 minutes. I was like, well, I might as well just hop on there and share it, get this one out the way. Yeah. And then, a video like this is good when someone's really like, if you are actually pondering someone's behaviors, All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Thank you, Michael. Michael is, let me share your comment. Michael says, thank you, Lakia. I enjoyed listening so much. Awesome. Michael's been at day one. And thanks for always supporting the channel. I appreciate it. And he's one of the survivors that got out of his situation. So that's good. No one's stuck there. But like I said in the last live chat, you have to see your options, and not limit yourself. But all right, you guys, I'm going to the gym shortly. And I need to start getting ready for that. You guys have a good evening or good morning or whenever you're listening to this. And, keep loving yourself, keep investing in yourself. And I will see you guys in the next live chat. Take care. Yep. Amen. Because, man, those situations be dark and heavy. They be dark and heavy. I've experienced some dark situations, man. Some very dark ones. And I thank God that I made it out of them safely. For sure. Because demonic attachment is real. All right. All right, you guys. Take care. Love you. And I'll see you in the next live chat.